Artreach presents ENCORE at Home, enhancing accessible experiences in arts and culture, featuring Theater Horizon.
Hi everyone, my name is Mackenzie and I'm a theater artist and teacher. I've had lots of jobs from acting to directing and researching and writing. When I was in school, I took lots of different classes so that I could be the best theater artist and teacher that I could be. One of the classes was a costuming class, so I thought I would share with you some of my designs and we could talk a little bit about the plot of the Tempest. Of course, Shakespeare is very famous, so most of his plays are well known, but even among those, the Tempest is famous for all of its magic and intrigue. The story starts with a violent storm that causes the ship that the King of Naples, his advisors, and his clowns were on to wreck. Then we find out that the shipwreck was caused by Prospero, who was once the Duke of Milan. He was betrayed and sent off with his daughter Miranda, and they've been on that island for 12 years, surviving with the help of Ariel, who's sort of a spirit or a fairy, and Caliban, the son of the witch who once ruled over the island, who Prospero defeats with the help of Ariel. The plot gets much more complicated than that, with one of the young men on the ship, Ferdinand, falling in love with Miranda, and Prospero trying to defeat and overcome the others so that he can return to Milan. Though the original story is set in Italy, I set mine in the Danish Gold Coast, and therefore I made Prospero and Miranda wear traditional Danish clothes, and Ariel and Caliban, the natives of the island that they live on, wear clothing and jewelry, similar to the native people of Guinea, where the Gold Coast is in Africa. So now I'll show you some of my designs. Here's Prospero. This is a piece of watercolor paper that I drew and painted on. Here in the top left corner are pieces of fabric that are samples I'd want the costume to be made out of. Prospero is wearing a burgundy cape that's tied over his left shoulder with an arm holding it open and a golden cord holding it in place. He has a red vest with a white puffy sleeve shirt underneath it, white stockings, and has a white belt with little pieces that hang under his vest at his hips. He has tan ankle-length boots, and most importantly, he carried a big wooden staff in his right hand that swirls out at the top like a bunch of tree roots. I wanted Prospero to look very magical along with all the other traditional Danish clothes, and I thought that the dramatic effect and the natural-looking staff, as though he just pulled it off of a tree, would accomplish that. Of course, Prospero wouldn't get anything done without Ariel. Ariel was my absolute favorite to design, so I tried to give her a really fun and active pose. Here she is. So she has one hand on her hip, and the other is bent at the elbow and partially tucked behind her. Ariel's hair, is tied up in a traditional style of bun that sort of resembles an old school Gibson girl style bun. She has lots of gold jewelry tied in her hair and bracelets on her upper and lower arms, as well as a necklace and earrings. And just below her knees, she has more gold jewelry with a decorative string of ivory pieces hanging from the jewelry on her left knee. Ariel's dress is designed to resemble a traditional weaving style made of numerous colors of thread in different rectangular patterns. This fabric is called kente cloth, and it's used in lots of African cultures. Her style of dress is also more traditional and is made of one large piece of fabric that's wrapped around her and tucked in at the top, just under her arms, with a blue belt tied around her waist. It's loose and folded over at the top, so there's a seam where the dress fabric crosses over itself at her legs as well. Over her skirt, there are 3 pieces of lace fabric that's roughly cut, and they sort of stick out from the rest of the skirt. Ariel also doesn't wear shoes, because I thought it would make her look more like she was one with the island. Ariel is magical, and she can teleport and fly, so I thought she wouldn't really need shoes to walk around with. I really ended up liking the way Ariel's dress looks and her active pose and nice looking face. Ariel is probably one of the most fun parts of the Tempest, so I wanted to save her for last. I have a lot of other designs on deck, but I wanted to show you those two, the very fun, magical creatures and people that make up the Tempest and make it such an interesting play to read and see. Anyway, I hope you liked this little peek to my very old now design for the Tempest, and I hope that maybe you'll give it a chance to read or listen to or watch one day in the future. All right, that's all. Thank you. Bye.
Support by Independence Public Media Foundation. ASL interpretation by Hands Up Productions. Special thanks to Mackenzie Rain Kirkman from Theater Horizon, our deaf talent, James Caverly, and the Virginia and Harvey Kimmel Family Education Fund. Learn more at www.art-reach.org.